Hello, Aries. Welcome to the Divine Dojo. Thank you for joining me. So, today we're going to focus on the week of April 28th through May 24th. We just had that powerful new moon in Taurus. So, hopefully, you sent those intentions because it was a very, very, very strong new moon. Definitely a new moon where the page is finally turning in this fucking book that we've been stuck reading the same page for the past 5 months. So we can finally turn the page. Big breakthroughs can happen during this week. You can see some big changes in your material life. Hopefully you've been working on your self-worth. Relationships can be changing. And you can be having personal, getting a little bit more stable in your life, Aries. One big thing is, that we are in a Taurus season, and it's great to be in harmony with the natural order of things. And Venus is actually going to be ingressing into your sign on the 30th. So Venus doesn't necessarily like being in Aries, but um, it definitely loved being in Pisces, exalted in Pisces. So, it definitely does not like being in your sign. However, it does give it that drive, the motivation. We're definitely going to be looking a lot more at relationships in our lives, especially focused in, being in Aries. And it has to do with like love, beauty, personal identity, creative inspirations. What else do we have? Venus will conjunct Neptune in your sign. On May 4th, Pluto does go retrograde, so there's that happening. Luckily, it's an outer planet, so it's not such a personal planet, so it won't have a huge effect on us, but just like anything, it will affect us. So all the Pisces stuff is coming to an end, which thank God. I'm a Pisces moon, but still, I have a lot of fire and water in my sign. So we have wide open fields, which, you love to just go out and conquer. That's the one positive about your sign. Not the one, you have plenty of positives, but that's the positive about your signs is that it just like loves going balls to the walls and all of that. But keep in mind, we are into our season, not in your season. So if you want to go balls to the walls, I just suggest taking it step by step. Definitely plan for your action and for what it is you're doing, because you want to have a plan. What else? It's time definitely to create. We have a window right now as of yesterday with the new moon, in Taurus, where all planets are direct. Basically, we have a week of all planets direct, no retrogrades until the 4th. So this is the time to use that beautiful energy, that fiery energy that you have, and move forward. And what do we have? We have a beautiful Ace of Cups along with the Empress that popped out. So this is great energy for you. I really enjoy this. This is beautiful. This is like creativity. This is new feelings, intuitions, maybe even a new relationship with the Ace of Cups. I don't know. Like I said, relationships with the Venus transits are a big thing that we're dealing with. But the Empress is definitely abundance, development, accomplishment, evolution, action. So let's pull a couple more cards. I'm really liking that for you right now, with the Ace of Cups and the Empress. Really good energy. Pull a couple more cards, Spirit. And one good thing to note is Mars, which, is your ruler, is coming out of its shadow. So it's definitely go time. But like I said, step by step, a very well executed plan will help you. And then we have the Devil, but it is reversed. So, that's the good thing. Reverses, it's saying it's releasing limited beliefs, exploring dark thoughts, detachment, freedom, restoring control, resentment, lack of will. I don't think there will be that for you. I'm not getting that vibe, but I am getting, if there are some bad patterns or addictions or, things that you're still kind of trying to work through, definitely try and sort them out this week. I know, it's hard to be like, oh, addictions, just get rid of it this week. No, but, start working on it. Like I said, make a plan, to change the patterns and do something, differently. Um, it's good that it's reversed and not upright. So, not a big deal. Capricorn energy, what else? Yeah, so this month, later on this month, we have that full moon in Scorpio coming up. Too many, but I'll take them. It says, so we have the Two of Swords reversed, the Hangman, and then the Lovers reversed. Yeah, so maybe there is a new relationship or a relationship that you're working on, or maybe it's about, loving yourself. Maybe there's an imbalance in a relationship, that you're dealing with, or that's trying to come in. Venus, the Venus transits definitely has to deal with relationships, but we were for, 18 months and had the North Node and Aries and Libra, and that had us looking at a lot of our relationships, right? And so maybe those things are coming to a head right now, since we've been in such a stalled period of time, basically for like almost 5 months. And so the energies have been very stagnant and very dormant. And so, yeah, we might have been feeling like stuck, like there's no right choice, like we don't know what to do. But hopefully this week now we'll begin to get some clarity and start taking some action steps towards, what is going on. And then the Hangman always is like taking a different look, looking at something from a new perspective, and also surrendering and letting go. If something has been going on with, relationships that you have here, or new relationships, maybe it's time to just get a different perspective and start looking at the relationship differently. Yeah, or it's time to sacrifice something or make a change, to have the relationships. Like I was telling in the collective reading, if relationships aren't reciprocal, because it seems more like a relationship than like a money thing to me for you, Aries. If the relationships have become difficult, it's time to ask yourself, what relationships do I actually want to pour into, and what relationships actually pour back into me? Do I want to reciprocate? Do I want to keep in this relationship, or do I want to just, end things and change it out and make it different? Or do I want to look at things in a different perspective? Have I been too rigid? Have I been too rigid? Have I been just, looking at things from a negative perspective instead of, somebody else's perspective and not just mine? It's just something to think about. This is definitely more of a relationship reading for you, Aries, than what I got for the collective. But since we are looking at relationships, let's look at our singles and relationships deck and see if we can get some clarification on the Devil and the Lovers. Thank you. Vulnerable. Maybe you haven't been vulnerable. Maybe you haven't opened up enough. And it says, you cannot experience true intimacy unless you open your heart and be yourself. And with the Taurus energy right now, if you're suffering from like low self-worth, or not being, don't want to be seen, or don't want to be vulnerable, now is the time to open up and be vulnerable, because this is good stuff that we have for a while here, for at least a couple of weeks. And let's see. Yeah, it's so funny. It says indecision. You're afraid to make a mistake, so you won't commit either way. Um, yeah, is it in your head? Is the devil, just kind of, keeping you stuck and being in your head and non-committal one way or another? We have to make choices, right? Like I said, it's time to decide, which relationships do I want to, put my all into, and, be more vulnerable and share more of myself, and, let myself be seen. And which relationships don't I, and make a decision, and time to let go of the relationships that you don't want to put any energy or effort into. Um, and then it says, being cold. You seem unapproachable because you're aloof. Try being more friendly. I probably can be guilty of that too. So maybe it's just something to think about. Like I said, maybe it's, time to get a different perspective on things. And, take accountability for how you're being in a relationship as well. So that's what I have for that. And then now let's see. I'd like to pull an archetype. I'm sorry, today is trash day too. So if you hear some noise, it's the trash people. And then we're going to have the gardeners today. Mondays are always a crazy busy day for stuff in the house. Interesting. I'm going to get these that fell. Sorry. Like stuck back here. All right, too stuck. So interesting. So yeah, the ones that fell are, and again, so you got the Lovers. Well, this one says the Lover, but we're gonna say it's the Lovers again. So yeah, this definitely seems to me that it's more of a relationship reading for you, Aries. And then we got the Mountain. How are you? Um, the Mountain is a good one, but also how he's in that cave and he's lit up and by himself. I think it's like time to, come out of that cave and be more vulnerable and start making, decisions, and start looking at things from a different perspective, and get out of this cave that maybe you have built for yourself, because it seems like love is here with the Ace of Cups, and very sweet, and, like, could be a very good one with the Empress. But seeing that you have the Mountain and the Lovers there, I think, there's something within you that you need to work on, so you're not feeling so like trapped. And again, this indecision is similar to the Two of Swords, right? It's like, I need to decide, but I feel like I'm blindfolded, and she's really not. She is, but she can take the blindfold off, and, throw the swords down, take the blindfold off, and really start to look and make a decision. It's not like she's stuck there. So, again, the Mountain, get yourself unstuck, and see what it is, why you're being maybe cold or guarded, because there's a lot of sweet energy here. That you got the Empress, the Ace of Cups, and then you also have, the Hangman. It's not like necessarily a relationship thing, but, it's maybe you're starting to look at things in a different perspective. So, yeah, so that's what I have for you. Let me pull an angel number, and then we'll close out the reading. So, Spirit, give me an angel number for Aries. Thank you. Yeah, look at this. It's 6666. It says great blessings. It says self-love, boundaries, boundaries, setting those boundaries, needs positivity, sorry, there's a little gnat. Wisdom, understanding, letting go, expansion. It says, nurture yourself by honoring your needs, desires, and boundaries. Let go of what weighs you down and make space for meaningful experiences. Expand your spirit across all areas of your life. Embrace the big love, opportunities, or job that are about to enter your journey. So, yeah, Aries, I think if you have a love, or if you're looking for love, the potentiality is there. And you just have to kind of let go of negative thoughts and maybe open up and look at things in a new and different perspective on how you've been seeing things thus far. So that's what I have for you. Thank you, Aries. Love you so much, and I'll see you next time.